Welcome back, everybody, to our reviews of Moon Knight. This time around, is it best that we look at episode 4?
I think so, because we're up to episode 4.
Excellent.
And I think by this point, everybody will have seen episode 4 and no further episodes.
Yeah, okay.
And if they want to watch previous episodes again, they could probably go back to our previous videos about those things.
Perfect. And leave them all likes, including this one, correct?
Correct.
Absolutely. So this week, Mason, spoilers obviously, we're going to talk about exploring a tomb. Mason, we're going to talk about death.
What?
Big time death. We're going to talk about a real...
Oh, no, I've avoided talking and even thinking about it for my whole life. I don't want to now.
We got a real shift in our location, which we'll get to, and of course a brand new character that shows up at the end. Things get a little bit out of hand, I guess, on the latter end of this episode because it starts like last week.
Yeah.
You know, kind of Indiana Jones exploring a tomb.
That's right.
Traps and whatnot.
Let me tell you this, James.
Yeah.
Certain media figures and reviewers had seen the first 4 episodes in advance.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God, episode 4 is where everything changes. It's going to absolutely blow your mind. And it got towards the end of this episode and I'm like, yeah, no, I saw
Yeah, there were mummies. I get it.
I get it. And there's this kind of reveal and I'm like, yeah, that's sort of where I thought this episode would go. The last shot of this show, absolutely. It did blow my mind. I'm like, oh no, I wouldn't have guessed in a billion years where this was going to go. So hats off.
No, it's funny.
Moon Knight.
It's funny though because there was information about that character prior to this episode being released.
All the clues were there.
Yeah, exactly. The actor who plays her. We'll talk about it. Anyways, Moon Knight is left powerless.
That's right.
But not alone.
Well, because Khonshu has been put in the little...
little vase or whatever.
I think the bigger reveal there...
There's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them.
Who's in there? Yeah.
Is it more Egyptian gods?
Yep.
Is it gods from other... Is it just people these other Egyptian gods don't like? Is it a guy who gave them bad service at a cafe and they're like, you're going in the little jar?
I love it. But kissing though, you know what I mean?
Yes.
He may be powerless. But
He's not powerless to do a big smooch.
That's right. But Layla...
On someone who's technically still married.
That's right.
Technically, because it's... Stephen Grant doing a big kiss on Layla.
That's right.
While Mark Spector's like, dude, I'm right here. I'm literally right here. We haven't signed the divorce papers yet.
That's right.
Come on. I mean, I wanted to sign the divorce papers, but...
I was bang up for that. So, yeah, that's really interesting that seems to be more interested in, the Stephen Grant character than the Mark Spector character at this point.
Yeah.
She's impressed by his probably accent and also ability to read hieroglyphics and the like. You know what I mean?
Never underestimate the power of having a weird accent in another country, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. You are not wrong. So, yeah, it starts with kind of like a mummy Indiana Jones-esque, like you go through a tomb and there's some traps and there's some people up ahead and they're like, don't kill me or whatever. And we're like, okay, calm down or whatever. But then it turns out that, and this is what I was talking about earlier, I thought this was the big reveal that people were talking about, that there's mummies in the MCU now.
Right.
We're nearly getting all of the creatures. We got a Dracula recently. We got a mummy. What's next? We're getting a werewolf this year as well.
Did we get a Dracula? When did we get a
We
Dracula?
got a Morbius. Well, he's a Dracula.
Hardly
He's a
counts.
Dracula via Science Mason.
I guess so, sure. I guess that's probably true. But yeah, mummies, okay. Terrific.
Yeah.
And I feel Layla has a little bit of Rachel Weisz from The Mummy.
Absolutely.
1999.
I completely. And not the other ones, especially the third one, because Rachel Weisz isn't in that one. We've done videos on them. What fun movies, the first one, really. And,
That's true.
And then...
Not the others.
No, diminishing returns.
Not these 7 spin-off movies or however many there were.
Yeah, that's it. And I also think, is this the goriest thing we've seen from Marvel, where we get like a live mummification torture process?
Oh, great question.
Yeah, because we're seeing there's the blood and you see a bit of the organs. It's not full on like R-rated stuff. You know what I mean?
It's probably the bloodiest thing on Disney Plus, certainly.
Yeah, I mean now all the Marvel Netflix shows are on there. What happens in those?
Oh yeah, that guy got beheaded. I forgot.
Which guy got beheaded? He got the door slammed and then whatever and then whatever. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I really liked the when Layla's fighting one of those mummies and breaks one of the arms off, and he's just trying to use like the bones in his arms to to fight with, which is it's very resourceful for a mummy to do that. You know what I mean?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, and then we get that little conversation with Arthur Harrow and her, where he reveals
that, in fact, her father was probably killed by Mark Spector, but probably not really.
Probably not.
It's probably a lie from a big liar.
And so they meet up later, and he mentions that, he was there, and he led like everybody there, and that he saw it happen, and he also got killed, and that led him to become a Moon Knight man.
That's correct, yes.
But I guess also that's the first real hint we've had at Bushman, who's apparently not in this series, because he's the one normally who kills everybody and turns on Mark Spector, right?
Right, yeah,
Isn't that
okay.
the idea? So, again, I don't... Well, apparently we're not going to see him, but I guess that's canon somewhat in this universe that guy exists.
I initially thought perhaps one of the shadowy figures in this series was him, but I think it turned out just to be a horrible faceless mummy.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, that's fun too, isn't it? Yeah. That room, the room where Alexander the Great is.
Yes,
Just
You throw that in so casually.
I'm
Inside it is, in fact, the tomb of Alexander the Great.
about to...
That room you mentioned earlier.
No, speaking of the room, what I'm saying is...
Yes.
What a beautifully detailed and crafted physical environment, probably.
You've done it, Marvel. You've finally done one.
No, I just think like the artistry in that room is just really really kind of next level.
Where do you think they got the idea for that?
I don't know. What do you think?
Probably real Egyptian
Yeah,
architecture.
I know. But I'm saying the recreation of that.
Yes,
they didn't half-ass it.
That's
You
true,
know what I
they
mean?
didn't. They
You
didn't.
could have done it in front of a green screen, and maybe they did, and maybe it just looks amazing.
Maybe they got you.
Yeah, well, no, but even then, if that's what they actually did in this episode, then that in itself is really impressive.
But I did love the moment where Stephen Grant, a big Egyptian history fanboy, had to just he found one of the most incredible finds ever, and then he just had to just rip its face open.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Pull some stuff out,
pull some stuff out. So does that mean Alexander the Great was the previous voice of Amit?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Because they're talking about, he draws like the hieroglyphic and the tongue and all of those things. That's the implication
right.
that I got from that. But I don't know if they didn't. Did they specifically say it? I think it was more implied.
I think it was, yeah.
Alexander was the voice of Amit.
Unless they actually did say it and I missed it. But of course, Arthur Harrow, he storms into the room with all of his mates. He's like, "Hello, I'm here and I've got glass in my shoes.
I've got mates and I've got a gun.
That's right."
My best mate, this gun.
That's right. And just to confirm, yes, glass is not frozen air. I just, it's something that we both like to.
Nobody's ever thought that.
Yeah, I know, because we've now changed people's minds on it.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it's a whole new world.
It's really
isn't it?
important
Yeah.
that people know that still. This could be someone's first video on this channel, you know what I mean?
It's a good point, actually. Yeah, you're right.
But then, of course, we get Mark Spector, bang, bang, shot with a gun. And without his Moon Knight powers.
How's he going to survive?
Great question.
Probably get his Moon Knight powers back shortly thereafter and be alive again.
So he's in a weird, I guess it's kind of a big kind of Legion vibes psychiatric hospital.
Sure, right.
And this is not like an unpopular comic book trope.
It's not unprecedented, is it?
No, we've seen Batman wake up and be like, "What's happening?" And they're like, Batman's not real and all your villains are doctors and
yes.
we all work at this hospital. We're just trying to help you, Batman." I mean, Bruce Wayne.
That's right.
You think you're Batman. It's happened to him maybe
What kind of freaks is this hospital hiring? We're all very odd, aren't we?
Yeah.
They let me wear this bowler hat with a question mark in when I do my psychiatric evaluations, Batman.
I mean, Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And the transition between those two scenes is we get an aspect ratio change.
And we think, is this going to be Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Finally.
Because of the aspect ratio change, but it's not.
But no, it's a movie called, a seemingly direct to VHS movie called Tomb Buster.
In which the main adventurer character is named Stephen Grant.
That's right.
The implication being, of course, that whoever is in this hospital, I presume it's a man named Mark Spector, has come to the conclusion that he is, in fact, Egyptologist and adventurer Stephen Grant.
That's right, yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, this institution is populated by people he's met in the real world.
Layla is in there?
Yep, exactly. People he works with. Everything, every item around the room is like a hint towards something that he's experienced. What's real, though? Is it this or the previous episodes?
James,
what's real, Mason?
It's the previous episodes. But realistically, if he were in this psychiatric hospital and he had massive delusions that in fact he was a costumed adventurer and an Egyptologist and that I would probably, if I were running the hospital, I would probably remove all those references from the hospital, I would take out all the Egyptian stuff probably,
yeah. Well, we'll talk about what we think's going on here like in a bit. But of course, Arthur Harrow's there, and he's obviously his psychologist or psychiatrist, whichever version that one happens to be.
I think psychiatrists can prescribe medication.
Okay, so is that the one that he is? Presumably, yeah, because he is on medication in a big way. And then he breaks some frozen air. Just kidding, it was glass.
Oh.
To escape the room.
To escape the room, yes.
Escape the room.
You didn't mention that Harrow in this situation has a mustache.
He does? Oh, yeah. He does. He's got his hair tied back and he's got his little cane and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when escaping the room, Sarah Connor's down the hallway.
Yeah.
And finds another sarcophagus in the real world, which he's currently now in. And who happens to be in there?
Why, it's Stephen Grant.
That's right.
Sure.
Exactly. And they have a big hug, and it's really good green screen. You know what I mean? I haven't seen green screen of two people this good since Back to the Future 2, when Marty McFly's playing the guitar and Marty McFly's climbing above him in the rafters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Though if you go back to Back to the Future 1
Go on.
and you look at that same footage, there's no place that Marty McFly from Back to the Future 2 could climb above Marty McFly number 1.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's a big mistake in that movie.
That's a plot hole.
Exactly, and if you have a copy of that film, you need to destroy it to preserve cinema.
You need to destroy it, and not only that, take a video of it and send it to the director.
Yeah.
So he knows, on social media, just so he knows.
Absolutely. But there's a third sarcophagus which he just kind of breezes by. Is that the third personality we talked about last week?
I wondered that myself, and I wondered if that was going to be the big reveal that shocked everybody.
Yeah.
But I guess so. Yeah, they did just breeze past. It's got to be right. It's got to be Jake Lockley.
Yeah, it'd have to be. Yeah. Or some variation
in this mind hospital that they are, in fact, residing in.
Maybe you kick the lid off and a big purple laser shoots out of it. I thought we were getting the big purple laser this week.
No.
I put in the thumbnail and everything last week.
That's very
I
embarrassing.
probably
for
took
you.
a lot of hits on YouTube. Like, people looked at that video and went, I'm not watching that because that's a dumb title. Because I thought it was going to happen this week.
Wow.
What have I cost myself in doing that, Mason?
I don't know, but I mean, the only solution here is to say maybe purple laser this next week and do it again.
Maybe
Exactly
purple
the same
laser.
title.
God, I hope so.
I mean, the thing about him going into another room and immediately meeting Stephen Grant does kind of undo. We've immediately established a reality in which maybe he's having some mental problems, but then straight afterwards we're like, no, actually, this is a construct, obviously.
Yeah, you think they could have dragged it out for an episode or
I think
so?
they could have dragged it out for an episode or so.
I mean, but also we know what it is.
Yeah,
Move it
we know
along.
exactly. We know we have seen it. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
You know, I think I got the full effect of this. You know, and I like that this is 6 episodes. You know, let's.
What
not
do you
drag
think it
out.
is, though?
Well, I think so. The goddess, so the hippopotamus woman,
Okay.
is apparently looks to be the goddess. The god.
Which, to be clear, is the big surprise.
Yeah, that's right.
Right at the end, they Stephen Grant and Mark Spector collectively meet a
Yes.
big hippopotamus woman.
That's right. I'm not sure how you pronounce this exactly. There's a few pronunciations online, but it's Torret.
Okay.
And she's voiced by Antonia Salib. And I've just got a quick quote from here. She spoke to Variety about this. She said, from the moment when I read the scenes when I was auditioning to when I started working with director Mohammed Diab and the costume team to VFX, it felt like I was given license to create my character and everyone was on board together. So what I think has happened here is this goddess hippopotamus woman has built this
This reality.
the reality probably inside Mark Spector's head or something, or in some kind of other realm or dimension.
Do you think she is going to offer him the chance to be an avatar of Tourette?
Maybe, yeah.
He's going to get a
Hippopotamus powers.
and he's going to get big some big jaws, some big chompy jaws.
He could crush like a watermelon.
A big watermelon.
Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
Some people will say that they'll make this comment that hippopotamuses kill more people than lions or whatever, which is apparently a true thing.
Wow.
And that's fun. Anyway, do you want to know a little bit about this new goddess that we've seen? Not new in terms of Egyptianology. Been around for a couple of years. All right.
That's terrific.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, I would love it if it was literally a couple of years. Egyptologists worldwide are just like, boy, this stuff's getting a bit stale.
Yeah.
We've seen it
What
all.
else we
really.
got?
Hippo woman? Yeah, why not?
So small statues of the goddess were often placed in homes with the expectation that Taweret would keep pregnant mothers and their children safe, with the hope that she would increase fertility. She was also thought to be able to frighten away evil spirits, and her figure was sometimes worn around the neck as an amulet. So if she's about fertility and birth, maybe this is a rebirth or something to that
sure,
effect.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's something else. Maybe he's in a coma. I don't know. You know, but
He did get shot
he did get
a couple
shot
of times.
But I think some of the things obviously in here are real, like the different personalities. I think the goddess hippopotamus woman within the Marvel universe is a real entity.
Yeah.
And the big purple laser in the sarcophagus is real also.
That's right. Do you think maybe she'll send Mark and Stephen off into some sort of journey to unlock
like
that
a
last
vision quest.
unlock that last sarcophagus?
Yes. Or she could just be like, just kick it open, I reckon.
Why didn't we think of that? Thanks, hippopotamus lady.
I was trying to pull it open and he was trying to push it open. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So, do you think that's where we're going next week then? Big time little adventure? Not big time, but, you know.
Ooh.
Or I think how much of the next episode is going to be in this mindscape.
Half of the next episode.
Yeah, I agree. I reckon about that.
And then episode 6, just purple lasers all over the place. It's going to be a laser coming out of that walking stick. There's going to be a laser coming out of the pyramid. It's going to be a laser coming out of the hippopotamus's mouth, but it's going to be a different color.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did have the thought.
I'm taking all your hippopotamus powers. Oh, no, that's too much hippopotamus power. You know how it goes.
I know how it goes. It did occur to me after he was shot that maybe they are going to push Oscar Isaac aside and then make Layla the Avatar.
Interesting.
You know,
okay.
but then like they're not going to do that. You know, just episode 4 and just kill him off. Because I think that would upset people as well. And you know what I mean? But I think that would be pretty cool to just be like, nah, he's gone.
Look, I wouldn't shock me at all if they went, okay, let's make Layla Moon Knight for a while.
Yeah.
But 100% they wouldn't. The worst I think they could do is sideline Mark Spector for a while.
Yeah.
And then bring him back later.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Anyways, obviously, if you've got any theories, please leave them below. We love hearing from people so we can steal their ideas, don't we, Mason?
That's right, we're a couple of big idea steals.
Claim them as their own. Speaking of theories that we're going to steal, I've got one here, Mason, from Mark Manick.
Oh, Mark
Manick. This is a good one. I really like this.
First of all, great name. I hope that's his real name.
It is. He said, real name. He said, not my theories. Well, speaking of theories,
Oh,
like this,
well, I think
but I've seen some
legally,
bad ones.
I think we're in the clear there.
I agree. We're 2 theories removed.
That's right. Yeah.
2 theory thieving removed. But I've seen some bad ones. One is that Mark's dissociative identity disorder is multiverse variants converging in one body, which wouldn't make sense because why does the Mark variant call himself Stephen? Or that Mark wasn't snapped away, but Stephen was.
Oh,
so
interesting.
What do you think about that? So maybe as a result of the snap and coming back in and merging of bodies and minds and whatever.
I mean,
it's interesting.
That is interesting. I mean,
it also kind of lessens the fact that, you know,
it's a man with dissociative identity disorder.
People have mental health disorders.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's kind of like, well, what if that made you a superhero?
Yeah.
Doesn't really.
It's
so
like in movies where they're like,
I wonder.
autism is making this man good at counting and he's the best at counting. I'm talking about the movie The Accountant, Mason, also the movie Predator, Mason.
That's right. No, you're right. I mean, that's would certainly be an option. It would tie it into the MCU.
Yeah.
Generally, that, you know, as we pointed out, there have been numerous changes to this character from the comic book. I actually wondered myself if it might be a kind of a multiple souls in one body situation.
Yeah, sure.
How's that work? So maybe. Because of course, then it becomes like, after this, where do all those characters reside? Where are they going to go?
Yeah.
You know, is there going to be some sort of Egyptian mind palace in his head?
Oh, wow.
You know, some sort of table built for 3, little round table.
Imagine the decor.
Yeah,
I love it. Also, I think in terms of screeners go, I don't think anybody's seen beyond this episode now.
That's right.
So everybody's in the same boat. I mean, we all know the laser's coming, but beyond that,
that's right.
we don't really know, do we?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Also, if you'd like to hear these early, maybe you did over at bigsandwich.co, where as soon as the episode goes up, the audio also goes up there. Collings, who edits these wonderful videos together, they're wonderful because of the visuals, not because of this thing, Mason. He puts that up there straight away. There's also bonus podcasts. Mm-hmm. There's also movie commentaries.
Correct.
A bunch of videos go up there early, including Caravan of Garbage. We're doing the Star Wars prequels at the moment, aren't we, Mason?
We're watching the movies. We're playing little video games.
That's
What a ride.
It is what a ride, isn't it? I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
Check out our podcast also. It's called The Weekly Planet. And
no one's ever said it like that, but I think they should
I
start.
want everybody to say it like that. Okay, thanks everybody.
Grab that jam, you guys. We will see you next week.
Appreciate it. Goodbye.
Do you think...
Is this in the show still?
Yeah, this is in the show
okay,
still.
Cool.
Do you think if you dropped a flare into a box of bullets, do you think they'd just explode?
Well, yeah, that's what
is what happened, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the evidence is incontrovertible, so...
Exactly.
That's good.
It is good.